This is my cheat sheet for Monday, March 19th. I'm a huge fan of dividends when it comes to investing in companies, and a big part of that reason is historically 2/3 of all investment gains in the stock market. And keep in mind that the stock market historically has gained 8% on average per year, putting it all together. 2/3 of that historically has come from dividend income. So it's always been a key portion of what I'm looking for in terms of overall investment return. Well, we're set to have a record year for dividends in the stock market. Companies are anticipated to be paying out $263 billion in pure hard cash this year in the form of dividends. That not only gets us back to before the fiscal crisis hit in 2008, it's an all-time record. It would break the all-time record, which was, by the way, in 2008, by $10 billion. Speaking of which, there's a company I've been waiting for a long time to begin rewarding its shareholders with dividends. Not to say you haven't made a lot of money just holding stock, because certainly you have with Apple, but Apple is likely going to announce later today a new dividend payout strategy, which I am a huge proponent of. Apple has tens of billions of dollars sitting right there on their balance sheet. They continue to add to it. There's only so much else they can go out there and buy. It is time to start paying those shareholders that have been in the stock for a long time that dividend. That means you can also see the benefit of Apple, the company, without having to sell the stock itself. Big fan of these stories all the way around. One of the things I'm concerned about by the end of the year is, will the Bush-era tax cuts expire? Because the president has called on higher taxes on dividends. That would end up putting a cold chill on everything we're talking about that's happening in 2012. So I really hope we do not see taxes on dividends rise as we look towards 2013, because it'll be a different story next year if that's the case. GOP delegates. I've seen a lot of different numbers out there coming out of Puerto Rico. Here are my numbers. I trust this right now. We have Mitt Romney with 515 overall delegates leading the race. Doing the numbers coming out of Puerto Rico, and Mitt Romney won Puerto Rico by 80 with an 83% of the vote yesterday, big number. Won 20 delegates. 3 more will be issued at a later date. With that, Mitt Romney at 515 delegates as I record this right now. Or in other words, he needs to win 47.5% of the remaining delegates that are in the field to be able to clinch the nomination outright. He has been doing better than that throughout this process, so Mitt Romney continues to be on pace to get to 1144 before the convention. Meanwhile, Rick Santorum, he now needs 66.4% of the remaining delegates. That hill to climb just got higher. And by the way, that whole Missouri mayhem, not only do I think that this combined with the whole Iowa caucus mess to where a couple districts didn't even end up getting their votes counted in a race that was decided by 20-some-odd votes. But what we're actually seeing in Missouri is they bumped it back to April 21st. There are a bunch of different states between now and then, only one of which, Louisiana, is favorable to Rick Santorum. In other words, you might have a scenario where Missouri being pushed back because of the caucus mayhem and no delegates being issued over the weekend, that benefits greatly Mitt Romney, as it's going to be a narrow margin to see if he can clinch the overall nomination. So stay tuned on that one. By the way, if you're a gamer, go ahead and buy your Xbox or your PlayStation 3 if you're planning on it, because both Sony and Microsoft say they're not planning on coming out with systems, quote, anytime soon. Interesting. I take that to mean 2012. That is the cheat sheet for today. Enjoy yours. See you tomorrow.